28 miles off Cornwall's coast lies an archipelago of 140 islands called the Isles of Scilly. Only 5 are inhabited. The rest belong entirely to nature. Here, the Gulf Stream creates a microclimate where subtropical plants thrive, rare seabirds nest, and marine life flourishes in ways seen nowhere else in Britain. This is a story of how geography, ocean currents, and isolation have created one of Europe's most unique natural environments. The warm waters of the Gulf Stream flow directly past these islands, raising temperatures 5 to 6 degrees above mainland Britain. Winters rarely see frost. This single factor transforms everything. On land, species from the Mediterranean grow wild, agapanthus, echium, and even palm trees establish naturally. Plants that would die on the mainland winter here thrive year-round. The surrounding waters maintain temperatures between 10 to 17 degrees Celsius. This warmth supports marine species rarely found in British waters: triggerfish, John Dory, and occasionally sunfish drift in from southern seas. Kelp forests grow dense beneath the surface. These underwater forests support entire ecosystems. Spider crabs, lobsters, cuttlefish, and countless smaller species shelter in their fronds. The crystal-clear visibility often exceeds 20 meters, making these some of Britain's finest diving waters. Gray seals haul out on exposed rocks across the islands. The population here numbers over 400 individuals. Between September and December, females give birth to white-coated pups on remote beaches, one of Britain's most important breeding colonies. These islands are granite, the same ancient rock that forms Cornwall's bedrock. But here, 20,000 years of Atlantic storms have sculpted dramatic formations. On Briar's western shore, Hell Bay lives up to its name. Atlantic swells, traveling 3,000 miles unobstructed, crash against granite cliffs with tremendous force. During winter storms, waves exceed 10 meters, throwing spray 30 meters into the air. This constant battering creates rock pools of incredible diversity. Each tide brings fresh ocean water, maintaining near-perfect conditions. Anemones carpet the rocks. Beadlet, snakelocks, and dahlia anemones bloom in reds, greens, and purples. Starfish hunt among the kelp. Small fish dart between crevices, blennies, gobies, and juvenile wrasse. The eastern shores tell a different story. Sheltered from Atlantic fury, white sand beaches stretch for miles. This sand is over 90% crushed shells, millions of years of marine life ground into powder. The clarity of water here rivals tropical destinations. Between granite headlands, ancient peat beds emerge at low tide, remnants of forests that grew here 4,000 years ago when sea levels were lower. These dark layers contain preserved tree stumps, roots, and even ancient pollen, providing windows into past climates. From April through August, these islands become one of Britain's most important seabird breeding grounds. On the uninhabited island of Annet, over 100,000 seabirds nest. Access is restricted to protect this critical habitat. Storm petrels, tiny seabirds weighing barely 25 grams, nest in rock crevices and burrows. They spend most of their lives at sea, only returning to land to breed under cover of darkness. Puffins arrive in late March. Once numbering thousands. Their population has declined due to changing sea temperatures affecting their prey, sand eels. Conservation efforts now protect the remaining colonies. These remarkable birds can dive to 60 meters, using their wings to fly underwater while hunting. Manx shearwaters nest in burrows across several islands. Their haunting calls echo through summer nights, eerie wails that once terrified superstitious sailors. These birds are marathon migrants, spending winters off the coast of South America before returning to the exact same burrow each year. Great black-backed gulls, herring gulls, and lesser black-backed gulls nest on clifftops. Terns, common, Arctic, and occasionally roseate, establish colonies on beaches, their aggressive defensive nests creating no-go zones for other wildlife. Oystercatchers patrol shorelines year-round, their orange bills probing sand for worms and mollusks. Their piping calls are the soundtrack of these coasts. Above the high tide line, a unique habitat exists, Maritime Heathland, sculpted by salt spray and wind. Heather dominates, but salt-tolerant species create a tapestry of colors. Sea thrift forms pink cushions across rocks. Spring brings carpets of bluebells, a subspecies unique to these islands, blooming a month earlier than mainland varieties. Wild asparagus grows along coastal paths, its feathery foliage emerging from between granite boulders. Alexander's, a Mediterranean plant introduced by Romans, grows prolifically, its yellow flowers attracting early butterflies. The islands host Britain's only naturally occurring scilly shrew, a subspecies found nowhere else on Earth. Slightly larger than mainland shrews, they've evolved in isolation for thousands of years. These tiny mammals are voracious predators, consuming their body weight in insects daily. Skylarks nest in open heathland, their ascending songs filling spring mornings. Meadow pipits bob across the grass, while stonechats perch on gorse bushes, their sharp tack-tack calls announcing intruders. Wildflowers bloom in succession through the seasons. Spring brings narcissus fields, once commercially grown, now naturalized across multiple islands. Summer sees oxeye daisies, red campion, and birdsfoot trefoil. Autumn brings carpets of sea aster and golden samphire. The seabed between islands harbors ecosystems as rich as any coral reef. Seagrass meadows, one of Britain's most threatened habitats, flourish in shallow bays. These underwater meadows are nurseries for countless fish species. Juvenile bass, mullet, and pollock hide among the swaying blades. Seahorses, yes, seahorses in British waters, wrap their tails around seagrass stems, their camouflage making them nearly invisible. These meadows also store carbon more efficiently than rainforests, making them crucial in climate regulation. A single square kilometer can store the same carbon as 15 hectares of rainforest. Rocky reefs between islands support spectacular biodiversity. Jewel anemones coat vertical walls in living color, purples, pinks, oranges, and whites. Sponges grow in impossible shapes, dead man's fingers, breadcrumb sponges, and massive elephant ear sponges. Spider crabs gather in massive aggregations during summer months. Hundreds congregate, their leg spans exceeding 1 meter. This phenomenon, not fully understood, may be related to molting behavior. Common octopuses hunt at dusk, changing color and texture to match their surroundings perfectly. These intelligent cephalopods can squeeze through impossibly small gaps, their only hard part being a small beak. Bass patrol in schools above rocky outcrops. Pollock hunt in the kelp canopy. Wrasse, cuckoo, ballan, and corkwing patrol territories, their vivid colors rivaling tropical species. The island's position makes them a magnet for rare visitors. Each autumn, exhausted migrant birds arrive. American species blown across the Atlantic by storms. Birdwatchers descend hoping to spot rarities. American yellow warblers, rose-breasted grosbeaks, or even hummingbirds have been recorded. European migrants also stop here. Poo-poo, golden orioles, and wrynecks rest before continuing to Africa. The dense vegetation of Tresco's Abbey Garden provides crucial shelter. Marine migrants pass through too. Basking sharks, the world's second-largest fish, filter feed in surrounding waters during summer. Their dorsal fins cut the surface as they swim slowly. Mouths agape, filtering plankton. Dolphins regularly visit. Common, bottlenose, and Risso's dolphins all hunt in these productive waters. Occasionally, orcas pass through, their tall dorsal fins unmistakable. The botanical diversity is staggering. Over 500 plant species grow across the islands, remarkable for such a small land area. Some are deliberately cultivated, but many have naturalized. Escaping gardens to establish wild populations. Tree echium from the Canary Islands now grows wild on cliffs. New Zealand flax forms massive clumps in sheltered valleys. South African agapanthus lines paths, its blue flowers blooming all summer. These islands face challenges. Rising sea levels threaten low-lying areas. Beach erosion accelerates. Climate change affects prey species that seabirds depend on. But conservation efforts are active. The islands are designated as an area of outstanding natural beauty and a special protection area for birds. Marine protected areas safeguard underwater habitats. Seagrass restoration projects are expanding meadows. Local communities practice sustainable living. There are no large-scale developments. No industrial fishing, and strict controls on visitor numbers to sensitive areas. the Isles of Scilly remain what they've always been, a place where nature still dictates the rhythm of life. Where the Gulf Stream's warmth creates ecosystems found nowhere else in Britain. Where granite islands surrounded by clear seas support incredible biodiversity. This is nature at its most resilient and most fragile. A reminder that unique environments can exist in unexpected places, and that they're worth protecting. End with aerial footage pulling back to show the entire archipelago, waves breaking on distant reefs, seabirds wheeling overhead.